Oh, hi friends. Here's real mom life moment. Okay, so I've been wanting to update you guys and do like weekly updates with Lenny, and I've been wanting to do like a birth update and our birth story. There's just so much going on. And then I was editing our family vlog today and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to do something different, something we've never done on CarlieStylez. I was thinking I could do my makeup while I tell you guys about Lenny's birth story, because mom life, this is like how it's happening right now. I'm in sweats. And the biggest thing is both my kids are actually sleeping right now. So I have a minute. And I gotta put a little makeup on. It just makes me feel better, you know? So, okay, let's try this. So this isn't like a beauty tutorial because I'm not trying to like show you guys how I'm doing my makeup right now. This light is kind of weird, hold on. Ah, that's better. This is just me being like, hey, I'm gonna get ready and let's chat. So, okay. So I'll leave in the description like what I'm using and why, and the process I take, so that you don't have like you're trying to listen to my story but ask questions. You know what I'm saying? This is just like we're hanging out in my bathroom getting ready and I'm telling you this birth story. Also, I usually use Tinted products like daily. Well, I mix up what I use. Like I'm a product junkie. But if you don't know, I sell Tinted products, and I'm currently building my office right now in our downstairs. It's getting finished, and everything is packed away. So I just bounce around back and forth with my products. So I'll show you what I've been using in the meantime. I always clean my face off from the night before, even just with this water and this cotton pad. I swear it makes such a difference. Your face makes natural oils when you sleep that are actually good for your skin, so you don't want to cleanse them off with like a soap. It's just gonna it's gonna dry out your skin. That's a whole other topic. Focus, Carly. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyways, so okay, so birth story, here we go. So I went in on Monday. I was 40 weeks and a couple of days. I was like a day or two over. No, that's a lie. I was 40 weeks that week. And my doctor was like, we can induce you, or you can wait, but I'm going out of town. And chances are, if you go to labor, I might not be there. That freaks any pregnant woman out, because we love our doctor so much. And we did not want a chance in being gone. But I really wanted to go into labor on my own, just because I've never done that. I've always been induced. It's always been a great experience. But for some reason I was like, I just want to like have a different experience this time. I just want to go into labor all on my own. And I really felt like I was going to with her. But my doctor checked me and he's like, your cervix is just not favorable. This is how it was with Cooper. This is how it was with Elliot. Like, your cervix is still really far back. Now, we all know that that can change really quickly in a matter of time. But again, I just did not want to miss my doctor being there for the birth, you know? So I asked her to strip my membranes, and I was like, okay, when's the latest day you could induce me without missing you or like messing up your trip? He was like, tomorrow, Tuesday. So I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, strip my membranes, I'm gonna walk, I'm sex with my husband, all the things, which we've talked about this. I'm not a huge believer in of actually inducing you into labor. I only think sex can induce you, and stripping your membranes can help. Other than that, like, don't put yourself through all the other crazy stuff like drinking castor oil and all that. That's a different video. Anyways, so he was like, I will strip your membranes. That can definitely help a lot. And he was like, it can hurt. Like, are you sure you want to do this? And I was like, well, yeah, because if you do that and that still doesn't help, like, obviously my body just might not labor like some women's. And he did tell me his wife has had 6 babies, and he's like, my wife has just never gone into labor. Her body just doesn't know how to do that. Like, she went a week over, 2 weeks over, and as a doctor, like, I just don't think that that's healthy. Everyone has a different opinion about it. Long story short, we felt good about that, so we're like, okay, let's do it. Strip the membranes. He said, if you don't go into labor, then I want you to call the hospital tomorrow at 4 in the morning, 4 a.m. and they're gonna get you in. And I was like, okay. So we went home. Our appointment was 9 a.m. that morning on Monday. So we went home and we were like finishing so many things in the house, getting her baby room ready. I was like finishing wallpaper, moving boxes downstairs because our basement was getting finished. We really wanted to get Cooper all moved in and settled so he felt like he had a, you know, place. And he had his room set up so that, you know, everything just kind of was in the rooms where it needed to be, and it wasn't super chaotic in our house when we brought the baby home, and we could like actually relax. So long story short, we were busy bodies all freaking day long. We ate spicy taco food. We were moving. I like took over 15,000 steps that day. It was a crazy day. And I was cramping, and I was like definitely bleeding down there, like, but my doctor said that would happen after he stripped my membranes. So I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna happen. Like, I'm cramping, we're moving around a lot. I got my membrane stripped, like I'm gonna go into labor. I started having like mini contractions through the night, but then nothing. So I was like, whatever, like I did my best. I've carried this baby full term, like let's do the damn thing, you know? So we called the hospital at 4 a.m. and they're like, okay, just make sure you get in here by 5. We had packed everything the night before, and so we were just getting ready. I like took a bath, shaved my legs, shaved my armpits, like all the things. Got to put perfume on. I put a little makeup on. Like I really actually kind of liked that, because the other couple times that I thought I was going into labor, I jumped in the bath to shave my armpits and everything else, so I felt ready. And so it was actually kind of nice to feel like mentally like I knew what was coming and prepared and refreshed and all the things. So long story short, get to it, Carly. We get to the hospital, they get us checked in, they check me. I'm still only dilated to a 1. My cervix is still really far back. It's not favorable. Your cervix, what has to happen is it has to roll forward and line up to create a pathway for the baby to come out. So I was only halfway thinned out, and I was only dilated to like a 1. So really, nothing had really changed in the past 3 weeks of the times he had checked me, even after getting my membrane stripped. So they started me on Pitocin, which I didn't do with Elliot, and I was really terrified to do because I did it with Cooper. And what happens is Pitocin naturally makes your body contract, or excuse me, it doesn't naturally, it makes your body contract. And with Elliot, I didn't have to do Pitocin, I just did Cytotec. Cytotec is just something that softens out your cervix, and the Cytotec with Elliot made my water break naturally. So then my body naturally started contracting. And when your body naturally starts doing that, a hormone, or I don't even know if it's a hormone, but something is released within you that's like a natural painkiller that your body recognizes that you're working hard, and it naturally releases that for you. So I didn't feel like my labor was as hard with Elliot because my body just kind of knew what it was doing. So it also made me super emotional because then I was like in the hospital, you know, feeling like, oh my gosh, I should have waited. Like I should have just waited to go into labor. I probably wouldn't have missed my doctor anyways. And Jackson just like was like, hey, like this is what needed to happen. You need to be in a good mindset. Like we're doing the right thing. We trust our doctor, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what, you're right. So I got my shiz together, and I had this really overwhelming feeling that I was like doing the right thing, and I felt good about that. And I think that there's 100 like case studies and things proven, but I honestly think that mother's intuition is just the best at the end of the day. Honestly, like it really is. And so after I like considered all options and just had a moment, I like took a breath and I was like, you know what, you're right. Like we are doing the right thing. I trust my doctor. I feel really good about this. And so mentally I just like started like preparing my body and like trying to connect with Lenny and trying to connect with my body and give myself affirmations, being like, okay, we're gonna contract, we're gonna labor, this is what's gonna happen, like we got this. So around 7 o'clock, the Pitocin had only gotten me to like a 2, and I wasn't really in a lot of pain. Like we actually were able to fall asleep for an hour, which was really nice because I was exhausted. I hadn't been sleeping and I just needed to take that nap. And so Jackson and I both were able to take like an hour nap while my body was on Pitocin, doing work for me, and I wasn't feeling any pain, which I was worried about because I'm like, I know that I should be feeling a lot more pain if I'm going to be progressing. So 7 a.m. the doctor rolls in, our doctor, and he's like, checked me and he's like, yeah, you're still only at a 2. Let's double her Pitocin. And then he broke my water. He didn't even tell me he was gonna do it. He just got this like long needle, and I was like, is that to break my water? And he was like, yep. I was like, oh no. So he broke my water, which is also what they did with Cooper. And I remember it didn't hurt with him, didn't hurt with her. I didn't even feel it, just felt like I was peeing my pants. And then they doubled my Pitocin. So at this point, they upped my medicine, and I was just waiting for my body to like get into it. So around 1 o'clock, no. So we had predicted that I was in the labor until that night. and my nurse had said 2 o'clock and I had said 2 o'clock. Well, Colette and Kaylee were both coming to film the birth, and they were like, what do we do? When do we come? And I told both of them, I was like, I honestly don't know, because my body isn't progressing. I'm only at like, I had gotten to at that point where they were texting me, I think it was around 11, 10:30 or 11. I was like, I'm still only at a 2 or 3. So Colette ended up coming up, which was nice. It was a good distraction, and we just chatted and hung out. And then she was there when I got my epidural. I was at like a 4, and I was like, okay, I need the epidural. I had gotten on the medicine ball, I had walked around, and it was getting to the point where I was like, I was losing focus because the pain was so intense. And Jackson's like, why are you waiting? Like, why don't you just get the epidural? And I was like, I don't know, I just feel like I need to labor a little bit. Like, I need to work for this baby. Like, I need to go through this process and this connect with my body and like feel my body laboring her. I don't know, it was a weird thing for me. Like, I just wanted to feel it before I just got my epidural. So I labored for a little bit longer, for like another hour. And then I was like, okay, I need my epidural. The guy was amazing. He did everything he needed to do with the epidural, but for some reason, it hurt so much worse than my other babies. Like, my epidural was painful. I was shaking and sobbing, and yeah. But then after the epidural set in, I was able to focus, and it wasn't, my body was contracting and doing everything it needed to, and I was like, okay, we are in the money spot. Like, I can't feel anything. I'm feeling like I can like get my thoughts clear again, and I'm not in so much pain where I'm losing focus. So then my nurse came in, and she's like, you know, you're only at a 4, almost a 5. I'm gonna put you on this peanut ball. And I had never seen it before. It's like a big medicine ball that is like kind of cut like a peanut. And she's like, it's gonna shift you around a little bit, and that can help speed things up. And I was like, okay. And she's like, you shouldn't feel any pressure, you shouldn't feel anything, so if you do, like, beep me in. I was like, okay. So mind you, I'm only at a 4 or 5 right at that point where she was putting me on the ball. Literally 5, maybe 10 minutes after she had put me on the ball, I was like, I feel like my chachina is falling off. Like, something is going on. Like, it hurts. And Jackson's like, you shouldn't be feeling anything. And I was like, I know, but like, I feel like the left side of my woohoo is getting ripped off. And so he's like, I'm gonna beep the nurse. And I was like, no, don't beep her in. I feel bad because we just had her in here. And Colette was like, oh my heck, just beep her in. And so then we were laughing because Colette beeped her in for me. She comes in, and around the same time, Kaylee had also arrived. And so we were all just like kind of talking and hanging out and wondering what was going on. Kaylee had got there, and so then the nurse came in to check me, and she was like, oh, we have show. And I had no idea what that meant. I was like, show of what? Like, we're progressing, like, what's happening? And just like very nonchalantly, the nurse picks up the phone and was like, yeah, can you get me the doctor? And they were like, yeah, what's ETA? And she's like, 2 pushes and this baby is coming. And so, no, she said on the phone, she said, baby is on its way. I need the doctor here now. And Jackson was like, and like immediate got this look on his face, which still makes me tear up. And he like, just like got in the zone, and he like grabbed my hand, and he's like, okay, we're gonna do this. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, it still was not registering to me. And the nurse was like, 2 pushes and we're gonna have this baby. And I was like, what? So she flips me back over on my back. She starts pulling out all this equipment. All these people start flooding into the room. And I was like, wait, I was just at a 4 or 5. How is this all happening? And I guess that peanut medicine ball did the trick, because then literally the doctor got there in 5 minutes, and within 1 push, baby Lenny was here. And I remember Jackson like just like looking down at her, and he was like, oh my gosh, she looks just like Elliot. And that made me tear up. They handed me her, and it was like this really peaceful feeling. Like, I looked at her and she looked up at me, and it felt like she was like this like long lost friend that I knew, and I have known her, but I just haven't seen her in a long time. And it was just like we were like reconnecting. It was the best feeling in the entire world. Emotional. Sorry. Anyways, I did not mean to make this that long of a video, but then she had swallowed a little bit of the amniotic fluid, and so they had to take her away from me right away, which was really freaky. because I'm always like paranoid that something is gonna go wrong, or God forbid something happens to my babies, you know. And they ended up clearing her throat and she was good to go. We did have later in the hospital stay, had to pump her stomach because she still had some amniotic fluid in her belly. I think it was a tube this big. I want to say 9 millimeters or 13, I can't remember, but it was quite a large tube of stomach stuff. She was 6 pounds 1 ounce. No, 6 pounds 1 ounce, yes, and she was 19 inches, so she was tiny. Like, none of the preemie stuff that we had, I'd only gotten 1 or 2 preemie outfits just because I had no idea how big she would be. And even though a baby, like Elliot was 7'4", and he still wore a preemie outfit, but then quickly fit into newborn stuff. All the preemie stuff that we bought her and have bought her wasn't fitting. She's so tiny, and I know that's not even that small compared to some babies. And now all of her newborn stuff is starting to fit her. Anyways, I feel like I'm rushing through this, but I'm watching the time tick and I'm trying not to make this video so long-winded. But she was healthy, she's here, and we are so happy. I'm trying to just really find the balance in having her and Elliot during the day. It's great because Elliot is such a good boy and he's really adapting well. At first, he was not interested at all, just didn't really want anything to do with her. If we put her by her, he was just kind of like, get her away. But now he's doing really good. Like, she cries and he tries to give her his binky or his meme. He'll have his meme kisser, and he's just getting more interested. I think now that we've like settled down, we're kind of getting into a routine, and it's just beautiful to see like everything's coming together, which I had a lot of anxiety about before I had her, how it was going to be with just me and the 2 babies at home. I was really freaked out that it was going to be hard, which it is really hard, but I just have so much more energy when I'm not pregnant. So anyways, this was the setup for today's video. Look, just makeup and skincare and, you know, all the stuff. So anyways, I'll leave the products that I use down below. This is just like my quick everyday makeup. This is probably what I've been wearing every day for the past 3 weeks. I do have on lash extensions, so I don't even have to touch my eyes, really. I'll come through my lashes, but other than that, just really quick, fast makeup. When my office is set up, I'm excited to dive back into my Senegence beauty business and show you guys my office and that journey of the leg. I'm sorry, my thoughts are everywhere. Anyways, I hope you guys like this birth vlog. If I left something out or if you have questions, let me know down in the comments. I'll be hanging out there chatting with you guys, and I want to make sure I like hit and address on everything. Yes, this is long. I'm sorry. I love you. Bye.